We're talking about the restriction on age as it comes to examination. Now, I'm reading from the Punch newspaper. All right. You may have caught the story about 2 days ago. Now, this is even an update. The Nigerian Union of Teachers has condemned the federal government's decision to ban under 18 candidates from sitting for the West African Senior Secondary Certificate Examination and the National Examination Council, even as the Academic Staff Union of Universities backed the policy. Wow. Okay. All right, that's according to the Punch newspaper. Now, the Minister of Education, Professor Tahir Maman, announced on television, that was Times Television Sunday Politics program, that the federal government had instituted a new age policy for secondary schools leaving examination, setting the minimum age at 18. Now, this means underage candidates will no longer be allowed to sit for the WAEC and the SSE, both crucial for advancing into the tertiary education system. Now, the directive also affects the West African Examination Council, which administers the WASI and the National Examination Council responsible for the SSE. Now, additionally, Maman confirmed that the age limit, to undertake the UTME, overseen by the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, will also be 18. Now, for the avoidance of doubt, this is Maman now stating that this is not a new policy. This is a policy that's been there for a long time. Now, for a good years, a lot of people have been, circumventing this and getting into school. All right, and people say, "Oh no, Nigerians are smart. They shouldn't restrict. It doesn't make sense." No, fine. That's not where our question is headed to this morning. Now, this is our question. You see, whether it's 18 or not, the biggest challenge has always been in the Nigerian space having, teenagers, into the adult environment, talking about universities. Now, in the last time we had this conversation, some of you said that, look, times change, and there were times when at 21, somebody was already a father with a small hamlet in his village, somewhere in Okokomaiko, for example, or somewhere in Albabri, for example, talking about, let's say 80 to 200 plus years ago. It was not unusual, but the times have changed. And so shouldn't we be changing with the time? That's what the conversation was that time. Now I'm asking, you see, with all of these comments about getting, underage, talking about under 18 individuals into a space, talking about tertiary campuses where you expect more adult-like behavior, more adult-like scenarios, more adult-like lessons to be taught, it may not be the safest place to have people who were 16, 15. Some of you know children who got into school. Why am I saying children? Young people, the youth who got into university 15. Yeah, 15, 16. And that kind of stuff. So here's my question. Would the age restriction improve the experience of the Nigerian student if you, as a parent, know that this space where you're sending your child to is going to be filled with people of his peers? That means people who are 18 and above, right? They'll be doing things the same way that they did or they would do, and your child ought to, at that time, be equipped. Because when you were in nursery school, for example, like say nursery 1, nursery 2, nursery 3, there is a very high chance, right, that you will not find a 10-year-old in nursery 3 or primary 1. There's a very strong chance. Yes, we do know that in some of the rural areas, some people start school very late. Yes, it's true, granted. But even in the primary school, there's a very strong chance, right, that you will not find a 15-year-old in primary 3 or primary 2. So your child is basically growing up with their peers. Isn't it the best thing to do when they get into that 17, 18 gap, to come into the environment where they will be interacting with the same peers? People are 17 up until 23, 5-year difference, right? That experience ought to be much better. As as opposed to the stories that we hear of, Jamba is coming to school, fresh face, they're like 16, 17, the girls coming, all the 25-year-old boys who were in year 3, who did not see girlfriends since matric day, they're about to graduate, they come into the big LT 500 halls looking like wolves for the small girls. And then those little young guys who have never experienced, alcohol and all those dangerous vices will now get swayed by their older cousins or their older colleagues who are in year 3 also, who are now looking for fresh boys to come, so those boys will now be buying them all the brands of beer and everything and feel among. Then they get into cult-like activities. What say you, ladies and gentlemen? I would love to hear you wading in this conversation.
The views and opinions shared on this program do not represent the position of Nigeriainfo FM. Nigeriainfo, let's talk.
Hello, Port Harcourt, with Jude on 92.3 Nigeriainfo.
017-923-0002, 0817923-0007. That's the number, or those are the numbers you can use to have a conversation with us. You can send us a message on our WhatsApp line, 0809-030-6416, 0809-030-6416. We have Emeka on the line. Emeka is speaking to us from Ada George, and we have Zion standing by. Emeka, good morning to you. Welcome to the conversation.
Sorry. Good morning, Jude.
Good morning, Emeka. Good morning.
I feel it's a good development for the federal government to kind of limit the age limit. For me, if I'm a parent, or if I become a parent, okay, it actually goes two ways. Let me just say, for me, for the West African exam, the senior secondary certificate thing, if they can finish before 18, bad. Okay, then let's say they finish by 16, my child or my ward will learn a skill without 2 years before entering the university, just to broaden their eyes and to broaden their knowledge. Because that 16, 17, they are at their vulnerable stages, honestly. I got into school at 19, and trust me, it really helps me. Because it felt like I knew something before I entered the school. I was not vulnerable at that. So for me, yeah.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much.
It's not a bad one.
It's not a bad one.
They can just write it at their 15s and 16s. Maybe after 2 years, then they can have enjoyed the higher institutions.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Zion is in GRA. Zion, good morning to you. What say you?
I think parents more of really discuss on this issue. This discussion is not for a single brother, a single sister who does not know the difference. That's just a comic relief. Dude, that policy is inimical to the growth and development of educational sector and system.
How so? Remember the analysis from psychologists has always been peers ought to be with themselves, which is why I made reference on.
Times are different. The truth is the government don't even understand the era we are. Era. In my days, sir, should I say this? Yes, for the benefit of this discourse. I am one of those that never did JS3. In my educational history, there is no JS3. In my educational history, even SS3 was not even there. We should be sincere to ourselves. I wrote JAM from SS1.
Interesting.
340 something then. Sir, our kids are intelligent today.
There's no doubt about it, but what about the psychological
what the
phases?
government should do, Jude, I have a few minutes. What the government should do is to accommodate them. What policy can we make to accommodate this young mind into this environment? Yes, when I was in SS2, sir, those guys are guys that want to start following women. The women want to follow men. I was like the odd one because I was so tiny. In fact, the name they gave me was Atom.
Wow.
The smallest particle of an element. That was my title, my title name in that class, Atom. when we now read the animal farm, do you know what? They call me the smallest animal in the kingdom. Sir, school was interesting. I want to beg that this policy will only help but put our children into harm's way.
Okay.
This policy will end up our daughters even getting pregnant at the age they ought not to. Because that 1 years they will spend at home doing nothing. What will happen to their brain? Retardation. The law of retardation will be provoked into them. Do you know that today there's what you call summer holiday? What is the sense of summer holiday? So that their brains don't get cold. Is it not so? Now you say when they finish WAEC or SSR at the age of 15 or 14, they will wait until when they get to 18. Okay. That is a lazy government. A lazy government that does not think. They don't reason. They don't read. In America, there are children we call geniuses.
Yeah, but that's the thing, Zion. Not every child that's going to university is a genius. Now, JJ has been standing by. JJ, please, good morning to you.
Good morning.
I appreciate you for your patience. I want to beg you, please, right? I want to hear everything you say.
No problem.
Yes, please call back. Yes.
Of the mark, I will return.
Please, thank you very much for your patience and for indulging us. So, not everybody is a genius or has a genius level intellect.
Nigeriainfo, right back after this.
When you hear about the domestic FGN
drizzles. Yes, temperatures of between 25 to 27 degrees centigrade, degrees Celsius is what we expect today during the course of the day here in Port Harcourt. But it did start raining already. The clouds right now are hovering, but there's still some sunshine. So if you've done some laundry, it would be great to keep an eye out, or if you could send someone a message at home. Make rain, don't touch my cloth, oh. Yeah, it would be good to do that, right? But whilst we're on that, let's talk about the future of the Nigerian youth, particularly as it concerns education. Now, we're having a conversation about the age restrictions. Some obviously are not in cahoot, or rather not in cohesion with the government. And this happens all the time, and which is good because, it is this friction that will help fine-tune every single system. I don't expect you to take everything that the government sends across hook, line, and sinker. There should be some deliberation. There should be some fine-tuning, which is good, which is why we have discussions such as these. Now, in this case, we're not just asking about if you agree that the age is good or bad, but the experience as a university student. Now, those of you who have passed through the four walls of a university or a tertiary institution, right? Let us take into cognizance the challenges that usually plagues the average Nigerian student, from, societal pressure, peer pressure, let's go and join this, let's go and do this, and then there's also the financial pressure. Some people have opined that many of the children who come into those schools have not been financially equipped. And I'm not talking about giving them loads of money, but they've not been given the wherewithal, they've not been given the drills how to manage their money. In those days, we used to have like 1,000 or 200, 1,000, 1,500, 2,000 naira as pocket money. And then we'll do some odd jobs here and there to make, a bit of a party so that we can go back then, go to Mr. Biggs, carry all the fine girls, impress them, and then buy new shoes. Those days, having new shoes, interestingly, was more important than eating. Oh, yes. But if you were to tell me right now, that, look, young man, rather than spending money on shoes, why don't you, go and buy a bowl of gari? I say, yes, you're thinking well. I need gari, I need soup. But those days, nah. Every single naira that we had was saved up so we can buy new shoes. So when it's time for a party or something, we will go and flex with our new shoes on an empty stomach. But did we know better? I don't know. So these are the kind of things that, the young ones who are going to come into university are going to be exposed to. And it's even more intricate. It's more complex now than it was back then. Back then, there was not a lot of emphasis on social media, engagements. Yes, we were the ones that started using, what they call that thing? Facebook. There's this high five back in those days. Ooh, and then there was To Go in Nigeria. Oh my days. I can tell you stories of the engagement people had because they were on To Go. Many of them were not 18 or 19, but they were in year one. Oh yes, they were in year one. Some even in year two. So back to the question for those of you just joining us. Would the age restriction improve the experience of the Nigerian student? Would getting a more matured individual into that space offer that person a much better chance of getting everything he or she will need from that particular school? Don't forget, the university is usually seen as a microcosm of the larger society. So, join us in this conversation. 017-923-0002, 0817923-0007. Once again, turn down the volume of your radio set. Refrain from making derogatory or defamatory comments. Didn't see or hear? Please do not make mention of it. And very importantly, keep your conversations civil.
The views and opinions shared on this program do not represent the position of Nigeriainfo FM. Nigeriainfo, let's talk.
With Jude on 92.3 Nigeriainfo.
All right, messages are coming through, so also are the lines. But let's get to hear from JJ, and then we get to hear from Robin and Muriel, who is in Okrika. JJ is in Rumigbo. JJ, good morning to you. Welcome, please.
Yes, Jude, good morning.
Good morning.
Return of the mark. Jude, do you know the present Minister of State for Youth Affairs?
Minister of State for Youth Affairs.
Yes, present one.
Okay.
How old is she?
Oh, she's young.
I think her name is Ibrahim.
Yeah, she's young.
Jemila, right?
Yeah, she's very young.
How old?
Wait, hold on, wait. Let me try to remember. I don't think she's up to 45, if I'm not mistaken.
No, she's about 20-something.
Aha. Yeah, she's pretty young.
Yeah, she's Minister of State for Youth. Let's calculate now. According to the Bible, God said, let's reason together. Let's assume that she started primary school at 6. She spent 6 years in primary school. Am I right? That's 12, right? Then she did 6 years in university. No, she's a medical doctor.
So secondary school. Let's not forget secondary school. Secondary school.
No. I calculate secondary school. She said before she started primary school, she now did primary school for 6 years. That's 12 years. She now did secondary. Secondary 6 years.
That's 18.
Right? Put it together. That means the same thing you're trying to put, the policy you are trying to bring in now, you have violated it by appointing this person as Minister of State for Youth. Because definitely she's not 18 when she wrote her exams, WAEC. Because to calculate it, she's within her 20s, she's already a medical doctor, and maybe served for like 2-3 years before she's appointed. So do the calculation, you will know that she's not even up to that. That said, I think that policy is wrong. We are in a stone age. We are in a smart age where children ask questions that throw you off your feet.
It's very true.
I remember some Sundays, you come and ponder on some questions and even throw it to us about God and God-related matters, through of us. So at the end of the day, those who can reason that way are already flying somewhere. We will keep our home for us, maybe the fresh water till they turn 18. Some of these children, when they turn 18, you would think they've given birth to their grandmothers. So why try to kill their career? Because we want to turn everything around. From the first, oh God of creation, or what's the other one? The council, they now brought God we hate thee and all those put together. It shouldn't come to education now.
Okay.
So for me, 16 should be enough to write WAEC. You also, they don't even ask like that again. How many times did you write JAM, Jude?
4 times.
So if you wait till 18, maybe you would have been grandfather before you enter school now. Let's not do this to our people. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. We have Robin in the chair. Miriam is still on the line. Miriam, please give us a minute. Robin, go on, please.
Yes, Jude, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you very much, please.
Having a pleasant sunny morning.
Good morning.
Jude,
yes,
successive government, but more of this government led by the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, they are so confused in some sort of policies at all times. What has reducing, extending the age of children to write NECO WAEC, what has that got to do with development of Nigeria as a nation? Let's come to think of it. Those of them that after 17 years old, they have already graduated from university or about to graduate. In the past how many years? Has that had any positive impact in the life of Nigeria as a nation? How have we grown? How many years have our refineries remained comatose? Don't we have engineering students graduating every year?
You have a point.
Those who work petrochemicals.
You have a point. You have a point there.
How have that helped this country? They just shadow day and night, not knowing what to do. If they want to keep themselves busy, someone will just wake up and bring one story. Jude, let me remind us, are we also aware in this country that the retirement age used to be 65 years? In certain level, the government came to increase it to 70. Because those who are in government are about their fair age, and they will want the people to continue to eat. Jude, are you not aware that the governor of Rivers State was the one who has said, I am not going to hire retired permanent secretary on contract basis anymore so that the younger ones can grow? These are all policies somersault of the federal government led by Bola Ahmed Tinubu. They have no bearing to the livelihood and the growth and the strength of this country as a nation. Good morning, Robin Maja, the farmer.
All right, thank you very much. Robin Muriel of Nokrika and Emeka in Elele. Muriel, good morning to you. Welcome, please.
Thank you, Jude. Good morning.
Good morning.
Look, Jude, I think the average Nigerian child, living in Nigeria, has already gone through a lot. So when federal government is coming with all these their policies, it's as if they are trying to, I don't know, they are afraid to be an ordinary Nigerian child. That when you get to that stage, you become so spoiled. You become your.
But it's not a new policy, Muriel. It's not a new policy. It's been there for years. It's not new. They're only trying to reinforce it. It's not new.
I know it has been there in the Constitution 18 years, but trust me, dude, when our time is changing, we change our law, to suit the current time.
Okay.
You see what is happening in Senate crimes. How can you restrict? How can you don't try to confine people? Children are involved in those days, those times. They made those days. There are times that they start school at the age of primary 6. A child will be in the house for a very long time, primary 6, 7. Until when your hands reach your head.
Your side of your ear.
How can you even know that you get those days and still want to implement it now with the changing times, with the trends, with this technology that is here now that children all over the world, even a little child can produce something. Then you say we should go back to those. So what is happening to our lawmakers? What is happening? They think the average Nigerian child is very tender, but when you go to which space is not an adult space in the first instance? A child that is living in guilt, it is not within an adult space, but is living in a social identity. Sometimes they want to implement these laws in child and state institutions. And trust me, the students that are in those schools are mostly not very wealthy people. Very rich people in this country. They send their children abroad. They send their children to Congress University, very good universities. Mostly it is we, the poor masses that are sent to federal and state universities. So which one is not an adult space? A child is coming from the jungle already. Then you say universities that are adult space. That okay. Cannot cope.
Okay. All right. Emeka is in LLA. Emeka, good morning to you. Thank you for your patience, please.
Yes, my name is Emeka Alezi.
Yes.
Calling from LA.
Thank you very much. Good morning. Divine is waiting. Go on, please.
Okay. I want to commend the Federal Ministry of Education for stopping underage children not to write to WAEC and NECO. Because the thing is giving us concern.
Oh.
My dear brother, I wish you can go to higher institution now. You will see it up underage children. Most of them cannot stand pressure of the school. Most of them cannot go and confront their lecturer when they need something from the lecturer.
Okay.
Most of them, their parents are still washing for them at home, washing their clothes. So I don't know the rush in this country. They should allow the young people to be mature, at least 18 and above, for them to secure admission. Where are they rushing to? The school, even the people that have graduated, there's no employment. Why are they stressing themselves? They should engage them on a skill test.
Okay. So they should not stay in the house. They should be engaged in a vocation.
Hello, sir.
They should be engaged in a vocation first before they even think of coming into the university.
Yeah, they should engage. Yeah, that is the right word. Yeah, they should engage in vocational thing. So they will not think of admitting them to the higher institution.
Okay.
So premature people that we are seeing on that in higher institution is giving us concern in this country. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you very much. Divine is on New Road. Okidim is in RSU. Divine, go on, please. Good morning.
Talking about the
yes.
I don't think like the second caller said.
Okay.
So I'm a
How you said you are 18. So are you 18 or less than 18?
I'm less than 18.
You are less than 18. All right. Are you in the university right now?
Not yet.
Okay.
Yes, sir. So I think to see white men.
16 is okay for you to get into university.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Divine. Line up very clear. But I'm very pleased to have heard from you. Okay. All right. So now, interestingly, I'm actually getting calls and messages on WhatsApp. I'm going to get to WhatsApp right now. And some of these comments are pretty engaging. All right, so let's get to read some of them. All right, WhatsApp now 0809-030-6416 0809-030-6416. Now, children need to be prepared for the future of work and not all these unnecessary restrictions from government. Even without writing WAEC, children can excel in their different fields. We operate a diverse world. These old men are out of touch with reality. They keep making policies that create problems instead of solving them. Dr. Imore with that comment. Thank you very much, Dr. Imore. All right. I want to actually get this person. It seems like a lengthy one. I'm going to make an exception here. I'm trying to get this person up. All right, and that we can have a good conversation with this person. All right. Hello. Good morning. Hello. Hello. Good morning.
Yeah, hello, Jude. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. My name is Victor, and I'm calling you from Vienna in Austria.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to add my voice to this conversation because I think I was a victim of overstaying before getting to the university. I don't think the policy is nice. I think the policy is a very bad one because just like I stated there, when I came here and then wanted to start my master's, I discovered that so many of my colleagues were some just a bit above 20, but I was already above 30 by then. I was approximately 32 by the time I came here to do my master's.
And they were already doing their master's at 20.
I think the background is a bit noisy and
I want you to repeat that. You said that some of your classmates were 20 as at the time you started your masters.
Exactly, yeah. Some were 21, some were 22. Like, in short, majority, the average age of the class, apart from myself, was 22. I mean, during my masters. But myself, I was above 30. I was almost 32 by the time I started. And these kids were really very good, like very, very good. Like, they were really smart.
Okay.
And the truth is that even at that time, I was not so many privileges. I wasn't to get so many privileges as a student because at my age, which was 32 plus, about 32, I was seen to be above the acceptable school age, and because of that, there are certain privileges that students are expected to get. I couldn't get that as well.
Wow.
Just because of my age.
Your age.
Yeah, that's the thing. So I think it doesn't make sense that the government should hear like a child should be allowed to get to anywhere the child desires to get to without necessarily looking at how old the child is. It doesn't make any sense. Victor, that is a very terrible policy at this time and age.
But Victor, let me ask you, the concerns for lots of people is that when you send a 14 or 15-year-old into the university where they are adults like you, they could be influenced negatively. They could get distracted.
Now the thing is, let's not, I don't think the university is about adult or childhood. I don't think so. I personally think that it's just about the exposure. That's what I think. It's just about the exposure. Now you could see a child that is 14 years and the child has much exposure of one person who is 30. So now, given the world going, the social media in such a way has ensured that a child at 14 should know as much as a man of 30 years. I can tell you. So if we are looking at maybe preserving the character or the behavior of these children, let's say we are trying to do this because we want to monitor their behavior or look at what they do, then I can tell you for sure that even a child in Nigeria of 14 who has access to social media, Facebook, and the rest of other Instagram, is already exposed to a lot of adult content. And the university will not even do so much in terms of making the child worse. No, it's not impossible. Because one is that even most of the things that happen in the university environment are regulated. But social media is not regulated. So you can't tell me that, because of the child is going to an adult. What is even an adult environment? That is it.
Okay, all right.
So I think the best thing.
Thank you very much, Victor. We need to take other calls and read other messages. That's Victor, a Nigerian who is living in Vienna, Austria. Can you imagine that? All right, fantastic conversation. Now, Tex from Oigbo says, I agree with the minister to an extent in that for a student to enroll in SSC, he or she must have completed senior secondary school curriculum, and that it takes 6 years to achieve. 6 or 5 for primary, or 3 or 2 nursery, 13 to 15 years. If you start nursery at 2 years of age, how did a 14-year-old arrive at the university campus? Like I told Mr. Kalada yesterday, we should also allow juniors, we should only allow juniors year 4 medical students to sit for the final examination, and any year 4 medical student who passes the exam should be allowed into to start practicing and inducted into the College of Medicine and sent into the health sector to start practicing. Perhaps our juniors year 2 civil engineers too should be given 30-story high-rise buildings to supervise. The curriculum was made that way for a reason. Instead of students jumping classes, right, and bits of the curriculum, why don't we restructure the curriculum? Text from Oyibo. It's a fantastic statement. James, James says, I don't support this curriculum at all. I don't support this law by the government. It is restrictive. So we have another anonymous message says, I just turned 18, but I'm in year 3. Whoa. My question is, do you want these children to waste their youthful age doing nothing? Don't forget that some of us are studying courses like medicine, dentistry, optometry that last 6 years or even longer. And you may not even get these courses the first jam. That's anonymous there. All right. Thank you very much. So many comments coming through. But we'll take a breather. But just for that, let me read 2 more. All right. And get to the other platforms that we have. That's Facebook and X at Nigeriainfo, PH at Nigeriainfo. PH. All right, it's fantastic conversation, fantastic views this morning. Keep them coming. The conversation has not ended. All right, so at Nigeriainfo, PH at Nigeriainfo, PH. Paul Chiamera says he's making people useless in the community, talking about this particular age restriction. All right, this one here says, these leaders just specialize in compounding our problems. Instead of encouraging our young and intelligent ones to grow, they are looking for ways to stall their progress. It's a shame. Akala, send that one from Port Harcourt. All right. As always, thank you for joining us on our conversations. A big one coming up by 11 o'clock. Like I said, save this particular word down. Savior. It's going to come in very important, come in very handy when we get to the 11 o'clock mark. Hello, Potaka returns.